Hello friends, welcome to the Anatomy Hub. Today onwards we will start the series of lecture on histology. So first we will start about the epithelial tissue. So today's lecture will be only on the introduction of the epithelial cells. Let's start here. So despite of its complexity of the human body, the organs of the human body are composed of only four basic tissue types, that is epithelial, connective, muscular, and nervous tissue. Each tissue is an assemble of similarly specialized cells united in performing a specific function. The basic tissues, each containing extracellular matrix as well as cells, associate with one another in a variable proportion and morphologies characteristic of each organ. Epithelial tissues are composed of closely aggregated polyhedral cells adhering strongly to one another and to a thin layer of extracellular matrix, forming the cellular sheets that line the cavities of organs and cover the body surface. Epithelia, it derived from the Greek word epi means upon, theli means nipple, right? So epithelia line all external and internal surfaces of the body, and all substances that enter or leave an organ most cross this type of tissue. The principal function of epithelial tissue include the covering, lining, and protecting surfaces. Example, the epidermis. It also functions as a absorption. Example, the intestinal lining. It helps in secretion. Example, the parenchymal cells of glands. Now we will see the characteristic features of epithelial cells. The shapes and dimensions of epithelial cells are quite variable, ranging from tall columnar to cuboidal to low squamous cells. The cell's size and morphology are generally dictated by their function. Epithelial cell nuclei vary in shape and may be elliptical, or you can say oval in shape, spherical, or flattened, with nuclear shape corresponding roughly to cell shape. Columnar cells generally have elongated nuclei, squamous cells have flattened nuclei, and cuboidal or pyramidal cells have more spherical nuclei. The number and shape of their stained nuclei are important indicators of cell shape and density. The nuclei also allow one to determine the number of cells layers in an epithelium, a primary morphologic criteria for classifying the epithelia. The connective tissue that underlies the epithelia lining, the organ of the digestive, respiratory, and urinary system, is called the lamina propria. The area of contact between the two tissues may be increased by small evagination called papillae. Papillae means papula, Latin word that means the nipple, right? So this papilla, that is projecting from the connective tissue into the epithelium. So papillae occur most frequently in epithelial tissues subject to friction, such as the covering of the skin or tongue. Epithelial cells generally show polarity with organelles and membrane proteins. They are distributed unevenly within the cell. The region of the cell contacting the extracellular matrix and connective tissue is called basal pole, and the opposite end, usually facing a space, is the apical pole, with the two poles differing significantly in both structure and function. Regions of cuboidal or columnar cells that adjoin neighboring cells comprise the cells, that is the lateral surfaces. So cell membranes here often have numerous folds which increase the area and functional capacity of that particular surface. Basement membrane. So the basal surface of all epithelia that rests on a thin extracellular felt like sheet of micromolecules referred to as the basement membrane. A semi-permeable filter for substances reaching the epithelial cells from below. Glycoproteins and other components in this structure can often be stained and visualized with the light microscope. Basement membrane and basal lamina are sometimes used interchangeably, but basal lamina usually denotes the fine extracellular layer seen ultrastructurally, and basement membrane the entire structure beneath the epithelial cells visible with the light microscope. Besides acting as a filter, function of the basement membranes include helping to provide structural support for epithelial cells and attach epithelia to underlying connective tissue. Basal lamina components help organize in integrins and other proteins in the plasma membrane of epithelial cells, that maintaining cell polarity and helping to localize endocytosis, signal transduction, and other activities. We'll find the stereocilia. So, stereocilia are a much less common type of apical processes best seen on the objective epithelial cells lining the male reproductive system, like microvilli stereocilia. They increase the cell's surface area, facilitating the absorption. More specialized stereocilia with a motion detecting function are also important components of inner ear of the sensory cells. Like that, cilia is there. So cilia are the long, highly motile apical structures larger than the microvilli and containing internal arrays of microtubules, not microfilaments. In addition to cilia on epithelial cells, most of other cell types have at least one short projection called as a primary cilium, which is not motile but is enriched with receptors and signal transduction complexes for detection of light, odors, motion, and flow of liquid past the cells. The epithelial cells also helps in intercellular adhesion and other junctions. So several membrane-associated structures provide adhesion and communication between the cells. Tight junctions, also called the Journuli occludens, are the most apical of the junction that form a band completely encircling each cell. The second type of junction is the adherens junctions or Journula adherens, which also encircles the epithelial cells, usually immediately below the tight junction. Another anchoring junction is the desmosome or macula adherens, which are disc-shaped structures at the surface of one cell that matches with identical structures at an adjacent cell surface. Gap junctions mediate intercellular communications rather than adhesions or occlusion between the cells. Epithelial tissue is avascular in nature, relying on the blood vessels of the adjacent connective tissue to bring nutrients and remove waste. The exchange of substances between epithelial tissue and connective tissue occurs by diffusion. Epithelial tissue is innervated, that is, it has its own nerve supply, and epithelial cells have a high rate of cell division, which allows the epithelial tissue to continually renew and repair itself by sloughing off dead or injured cells and replacing them with new ones. So function of the epithelial tissue, that based on the location, epithelial tissue performs a bunch of functions, that is the protection, transportation, secretion, absorption, receptor function. So first we'll see the protection. So one of the most critical functions of epithelial tissue is the protection. It protects the cells present below against radiation, desiccation, invasion by pathogens, toxins, and physical trauma. The absence of blood vessels in the epithelial tissue that prevents bleeding in the tissue during abrasion. Transportation. So in epithelial tissue also functions in the transportation of different molecules in and out of the cells with different forms present in the epithelial tissue. Besides the digestive, respiratory, and urinary system, it allows the exchange of molecules between the underlying cells and the body cavity, capillaries, and ducts. It has also another function, that is the secretion. Glandular epithelium that secretes various macromolecules like hormones responsible for multiple body functions. Many endocrine and exocrine glands also help maintain the body surfaces, for example skin, as well as it supports the function of various organs, for example the digestive system. It also helps in absorption. So, by the function of various specialized structures like cilia and microvilli on the surface of cells, epithelial tissue also aids in the absorption of multiple molecules by increasing the surface area. In the digestive system, columnar cells of the small intestine help in the absorption of water and various other nutrients. It also helps in receptor function. Some cells in the epithelial tissue are specialized to perform sensory functions that can detect the sensory information and convert them into neural signals. Cells in the epithelial tissue, like the pseudostratified columnar epithelium of the olfactory mucosa, contain apical cilia that allows the sensation of odor. So friends, here just we have covered the definition, characteristic of epithelial tissue, function of the epithelial tissue. In next video, we will watch the types, classification with examples, location of the epithelial cells. So thanks for watching. Please like, share and comment so that I will be inspired from your comments and likes, and will upload more and more videos on this topic. Thank you.